Shaun, you've been clamoring for Jameis Winston, and let's be honest, his first start did not disappoint. Ken Dorsey was calling plays. It looked a lot like the traditional Kevin Stefanski offense. So there is a little variables at work here. But all in all, some of the things Jameis did in this game were incredibly impressive. And from my perspective, and I hope you agree, because when you agree with me, that makes me feel a lot smarter about myself. A lot of the positives are because, as you like to say, he was throwing on time, in rhythm, and on the money.
Absolutely. And if you look at James' career, I mean, you can go all the way back to high school, his time at Florida State, initially number one pick in the draft. It's because he has elite arm talent. He's able to spin the football at an elite level. So if we roll this, I'm going to put some of this stuff eventually on my coach's tape, and I make a cut up of what it's supposed to look like. Elijah Moore's going across in motion. He got some kind of zone coverage. Top of the drop, hits his fifth step, hitches, throws, balls right on the money. I want you to pause it right at the hitch point when he gets ready, right there. So he's seeing this. So Elijah's still on a vertical route. Watch when this ball gets released. I mean, when this ball comes out of his hand, Elijah's head isn't even to him. We talked so many times in the previous weeks about the receiver's eyes already being at the quarterback and the ball not having left his arms. This is what anticipation and timing is about. This ball is out of Jameis's hands before he sees Elijah Moore's eyes. Nothing the defense can do.
So Jameis didn't throw any interceptions, but he did have one turnover in this game. Kyle Hamilton, who we'll talk about later, timed up a perfect blitz here, Shaun, and got to Jameis to force the strip sack. I'm curious, is this on the quarterback? Is it on the offensive line? Or is this just an instance that you have to tip your cap to the defense for a perfectly disguised blitz?
Well, it starts with identification. If you look, the Browns have 7 guys potentially being pass protection. The Ravens have 7 guys that look like they're in a position to blitz. What should happen here, and it looks like Jameis assumed or had communicated for it to happen, was for the offensive line to be in a full slide left, which ultimately would have picked this up. The left side of the offensive line doesn't seem to get the proper communication. It results in a sack fumble, easily fixable the when they get into practice this week. And the end zone will give you a clear view of what I'm talking about. So a full slide here would be 78, the right tackle, 77, 55, 75, 79. They're all sliding left, right? They're all in a left slide. And the only reason that that's possible is because you have Njoku, who can handle the end, and then Pierce Strong to handle anything that will come off the right side from a blitz standpoint. So only half the line gets the slide. If you can run it, you see it easily what happens. Instead of the full slide going, 79 goes back in with the looper, which leaves Hamilton open. Obviously, Jameis thinks this is picked up. It doesn't get picked up. It results in a turnover, but that's easily fixable come this week's film.
Shaun, last week you called out Elijah Moore for dogging it on a clear-out route. He must have heard, he must have watched, because he was playing with a different intensity and fire in this contest in the second half. 3rd and 7 here. This may be Elijah Moore's best play as a Brown. And Jameis, on time and rhythm, when it works, it's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, let's not forget Ken Dorsey, who called the plays in this game. This is a really good play design here. A lot of times, you look at the elite wide receivers in this league, you don't really have to move DK Metcalf around. You don't have to move, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. They're so physically gifted. They can get off press coverage. They can beat man coverage from a static position. But sometimes when you get to the second tier guys, you have to get creative in getting them releases. So this is a tight bunch formation here. So you have all of the Ravens DBs inside of the numbers, and watch the release from the trip side down here at the bottom. This is what creates the initial space for Elijah to get into his route. Now he's got separation. He's running full speed. And what makes the play work is Jameis's timing, anticipation, and ball location. Jameis sees it, throws it, boom. Easy pass, easy throw and completion there. But give Dorsey some credit for a really creative way of having Elijah as the inside point on the trips, but also the guy running the out route.
Jameis threw 3 touchdowns in this game, 2 to Tillman, but the first came to David Njoku in the 3rd quarter. This is another instance, Shaun, we talked about it last week, of trusting your big dogs to make big plays. He wasn't even open, but Jameis didn't care. Threw it anyway, and David Njoku with his 2nd touchdown in as many games, Shaun. This is just making a play when it's there, right?
Yeah, and listen, I'm not a guy that thinks Deshaun Watson's career is over. I think he's going to rehab and get a chance somewhere else to kind of change the narrative. But when he looks back on his time in Cleveland, he's going to look at the success that David Njoku had last year with Flacco and the success he's had this year with Jameis Winston. And I really think he's going to regret not giving Big 85 more opportunities to make contested catches. So we want to run it here. This is just NFL football. This is great defensive coverage by the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, he's glued to Njoku. There's not a lot of window there. But what Jameis knows, man, when you got a big fella like that has soft hands, that can catch the ball, give him chances to be great. So Jameis doesn't hesitate. He knows he's got the one-on-one matchup, throws him a catchable back shoulder ball, and Njoku makes the play. And here's what I mean by catchable. If you look at this right at the end, this ball isn't thrown hard, low, and outside. This ball's got a little air under it. It gives Njoku a time to get his eyes on it, turn his body around, and make the catch. So really good tempo on this ball by Jameis. And this is just Njoku putting more, I think, believable things on the resume that he's one of the elite tight ends in this league.
Ravens threw a bunch of different coverage looks at Jameis. It didn't seem to bother him. This is a cover 3 look, and he says, I don't really care if Kyle Hamilton's 6'4" and can jump through the roof. My guy's open. He's getting the rock here, Shaun, and it takes a lot of anticipation and belief in not only your arm, but your receiver to be in the right spot to execute a play like this.
Oh, my God. We got some real football we're going to break down. The guy's under center. He's taking 5- and 7-step drops from under center. I mean, what is Cleveland doing? Are they trying to reinvent the game of football? No, this is what a real quarterback play looks like. And, man, this is elite right here. We can run it. This is so good by Jameis Winston. Look, he's on a 7-step drop. Pause it right there. Look at this window that he's looking at. I mean, the flat route hadn't really impacted the flat coverage yet. The third cornerback that's below the 40 is outside leverage on an outside breaking route. But listen, I tell quarterbacks all the time, man, great offense always beats great defense. And watch Jameis deliver this ball over the underneath coverage perfectly to the sideline for his wide receiver. Man, that's just a thing of beauty.
Browns down by a point, need a score. It is 3rd and 7, and the Ravens are turning up the heat, Shaun. But Jameis was ready for it all. 3rd and 7, he gets 7, finding Elijah Moore here to the right side. Tell us about how Jameis diagnosed what was happening before the play here, Shaun, and how he knew exactly where to go with the ball in a split second.
Well, first of all, I've never been more proud of a quarterback than I am of Jameis Winston in this particular situation. And here's why. You got all these quarterback coaches and young quarterbacks. If they were in this situation, they'd get this ball, they'd run all the way back across the 50 and try and make a sidearm throw that has no velocity on it and has no chance of being caught whatsoever. Here's what timing does. Let me repeat that for all you quarterbacks out there, all you quarterback coaches. Here's what timing does. Timing at the quarterback position can beat the blitz. Timing's also fundamentally sound. Baltimore has 7 people up here to rush. Cleveland only has 6 possible blockers, so Jameis knows eventually someone's coming free. But watch his feet. Remember, I talked all the time. Your mind and your movements have to match. So watch Jameis's feet. Watch how fundamentally sound he is from the waist down, how confident he is in where he's throwing it, how fundamentally sound he is in his release point, and how they beat the blitz. Wow, this is a thing of beauty. Let's hit play. Look at that. Look at that, Mikey. Guess what? He didn't throw the ball sidearm. He didn't lose 10 yards to try and flip it up underhanded. He understood, if I get this ball and I get on my back foot and I release the ball in rhythm on time, I can beat the blitzer and I can be fundamentally sound and have a great fundamentally repeatable release point and throw an accurate ball, and we can pick up a first down. And guess what we're going to do in a couple plays? Win the damn game. So take that to all you quarterback guys out here teaching sidearm, underhand, lose ground. Man, listen, just the old way won a lot of championships. Man, I'm so fired up right now. I don't know what to do. Good job, Jameis.
Shaun, this is the play everyone wanted us to break down. It is the game winner to Cedric Tillman. Kyle Hamilton drops the surefire interception the play before, and then Jameis, with the shortest memory of all time, comebacks and delivers the dime to Cedric Tillman. 38 yards downfield for the touchdown. Break it down for us, Shaun. This is the play of the year for the Browns so far.
Hey, the great ones are able to be calm when everything is chaotic, right? And what more chaotic moment than the play before this, when it looked like they had lost all opportunity and chance to win. Well, guess what? Jameis didn't bleed. And there's three things that happen on this play that make it successful. One, the offensive line does a great job here of being with the right Mike linebacker ID. They sort up the little games that are being run. Cedric Tillman's route is phenomenal. He sets up the safety and beats anticipation he throws the ball with. This is the thing of beauty. That's real good right there. That's NFL football.
And you see it from the backside angle, Shaun. I mean, that pocket's perfect.
Good pass protection. Great confidence by Jameis. Great route by Tillman. That's big time all the way around.